global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello fam, welcome back to our channel. One of the critical things one should look out for and one should have as a public figure, as a leader, is to develop thick skin to criticism, be it constructive or destructive. But any form of criticism should be taken with a pinch of salt without necessarily reacting or lashing back. And these are some of the things we're looking at in this our video, where the likes of Lai Mohammed has seemed not to be able to take, any form of criticism whatsoever from any quarter. And coming from the people they are leading, they get very vexed that you should even criticize them. How much more? To even advise them or criticize them is as if you have insulted the living daylight out of them. Now, we're looking at the wife of Akeredolu. She was immersed in some sort of, should I call it a show of shame now? Because a woman of that magnitude, of that caliber, shouldn't be seen stooping so low as to batter words with a critic, especially on a social media handle. You're going to be seeing the pictures of the exchange between Mrs. Betty Akeredolu, the wife of the Ondo State governor, with her critic Jimmy Adekunle Jaff. It's really a serious one, really, and the whole story actually began with the issue of traveling during COVID-19, and the battle began. Betty Akeredolu was actually immersed in a heated social media exchange with a critic, Jimmy Adekunle Jaff, who accused her and her husband of violating the ban on interstate travel due to the coronavirus pandemic. The critic in his Facebook posted titled "Show of Rascality of the Arakunrin and Arabirin in my Sunshine State," which is Ondo State. Well, Dominic Cummings, advisor to PMB Britain, was sanctioned for traveling outside London. That's Jimmy was writing on his social media page now. He said, "Here in my Ondo State, my people rolled out drums welcoming their Arabirin, Betty Akeredolu, that traveled hundreds of kilometers from Ebiambiam in Imo State, while the husband, Arakunrin Akeredolu, left for Abuja same day to lobby for a second term with our money stocked in the boot of his vehicles in his convoy." Okay, but then he said, however, after the Ondo First Lady replied with a comment which read, "Baka the Salah, ranting Canada-based human heresy," that's rights activist, 4+4 is a go, meaning that whether he likes it or not, they will continue their second term. Then Jeff fired back, that's his critic. Her critic fired back by saying that she has thrown her exalted office to the dogs. That's strong, really. Betty thereafter also replied him. He said Betty thereafter went all out against Jimmy Adekunle Jaff, who she accused of being a mortuary attendant who fled the state. She also affirmed that her office is looking for such people. See her write-up. He says, "Shut the hell up. You are still talking Canada irrecivist. This has entered in Ondo social media lexicon. I even heard that you are an offender and you ran away to Canada. Shame on you. Come back. Police is waiting for you. And my office is after scumbags like you. You are in real trouble. Arabirin has no mercy for people like you. Jail term awaits you. Fake human being, irrecivist." That's right. That's political appointment from Ondo State you are eyeing. You no go smell am. It's not to talk of eating it. Who born monkey? She wrote. "Trouble dey sleep, nyanga go wake am. Wetin you dey find? Na palava you dey find. You go know say obirin dey way pass okunrin. You don't enter one chance mortuary attendant. By the time I'm done with you, you are nothing but a piece of cracker shit. Bele, you had a field day all this while, peddling unimaginable falsehood, laced with bad English, and your fellow errats were cheering you on. Where did you study? Did you go to university? I mean, first-generation universities where English 101 is taught to groom their product to speak and write proper English grammar. Now it's my turn. It don't happen. You damn mortuary attendant plus, including, like Zebediah would say, oh yeah, Otishele. Nobody has monopoly of viciousness. I can too, if I choose to. Well, she has spoken her mind. You have heard what the Alabere of Ondo State has said. But my personal opinion, I feel a lot of persons felt very disappointed, really, coming from the First Lady of Ondo State. I believe that during this whole process of being a political, going into politics, and your husband being the first person in the state and the chief executive officer of that state, I'm talking about the governor of Ondo State, I believe that she should have acted with a bit of decorum. Yes, there's nobody that have monopoly of anger, but I believe as a public figure, as a person of repute, as someone who a lot of ladies are looking up to, a lot of women are looking up to, as someone who also, whose words should be referenced in the sense that she's a leader, the wife of the governor, I believe she shouldn't have stooped so low. There are better ways to go through this, There are better ways to showcase her authority. She actually stooped low, if you ask me. I'm sure she must have a social media handler. I'm sure she should have a social media an assistant. I'm sure she will have an aide who would have responded to this. I'm sure she would have had a lot of persons would have done this for her, not her. Coming all out, that means if somebody today, anybody comes on social media and calls her a prostitute, quote and unquote, she will also respond. No. You should learn to develop what we call thick skin. Criticism is allowed. If you have gone out of the way of traveling without 14 days quarantine, self-quarantine, the laws are meant to guard anyone, okay? They are meant to guard us. We're not meant to break the law, but it's actually there to guide us. If you must, it must be for very stringent reasons. People travel, one or two persons keep traveling here and there because they call them people who have essential duties. There are people who must do those things and they need to travel. So they allow them to move interstate because their duties are important. So those laws were actually meant to guide. Now, if she was traveling for something very essential, one would understand because she's the first lady. Then if she was just going there, like Jeff has said, just to say hello to her people, I don't know if it's so essential that she must travel at this COVID-19. Then, being criticized, if you know you have goofed, you don't need to reply. Okay? If you must, it shouldn't be the first lady herself. She shouldn't have done it, honestly. She actually belittled the office. That everybody does. It's not every comment you must respond to. So many persons have been, just ignore it. You're a public figure. You don't have a private life. The day you signed to become the first lady of Akeredolu and the first lady of Ondo State, that was the day you hung your privacy in the air. They will x-ray you. So you can't just, if there's no COVID-19, why would they call her out? Because there's COVID-19 and there's a ban on interstate movement. So one would expect that the first lady should respect the law. Now, but then she could have gone to that place for another reason that's quite important. Then it would have been nicer to explain it or even totally ignore it. Then coming out exchanging words. It's as if she knows this Jeff guy personally. It's as if they have something to share. Or imagine she's trending 4+4 is a go. How does it relate to Jeff? 4+4 is a go. You are bringing your office down to that level. I felt quite embarrassed when I saw it. Why? It's really pathetic. Which means anybody can call her out. You can just go there and call her names and she'll respond. I feel that these are the reasons why we have aides. It's those who maybe your SSA, social media, SSA to this, senior special assistant to this or that and all that. I'm sure that's the reason why they pay them salaries. I'm sure she has one. You would have easily have responded very quickly, but definitely not her. And the young man who spoke, I don't think he insulted her. He only criticized her movement and even called him Arabere. Arabere, woman, female and male. He wasn't insultive in his post. But our first lady went and called him all manner of name. And that was really very uncultured. But then, it's almost a norm now that when you call out our leaders on any social media platform, they come for you. It's as if we're no longer, like, there's freedom of speech, but freedom of after speech is not guaranteed. We're going to wrap it up. What do you think? To me, it's very disappointing behavior of the first lady of Ondo State. I'm talking about Mrs. Betty Akeredolu. One would say she has the right to be angry, but she has every right to also control her anger. She's a leader, or the wife of a leader. That makes her also a leader. Let's put in our comment section. What do you think? We really would love to appreciate. We would appreciate to hear your opinion on this.